guys, it's Bruce or nintenbruce here, and we are finally coming up to the closing stages of the Splosion Man hardcore cake walkthrough. This is the final world, world number 3, and it is the most difficult thing ever. Very, very fiendish of the developers to do a hardcore mode on this. So what I'm going to say straight off the bat is, besides the usual take your time, is you're going to have to time your jumps so well to pass some of these levels, because otherwise there's no way to pass it. So I know that sounds simple enough, but honestly the timings have got to be so precise. So, moving on then, besides the amount of retries you might take while doing this, you can see it's a pretty simple first level to start with. You had to hang on to the moving platform at first, otherwise you would have been blown away by the drone gun. Here, as you see, you've got to do a double toss, I guess you could say, off that barrel, otherwise you're going to be able to remove yourself from that room. Again, it's simple stuff here, but you might have noticed when going down that there is this birthday cake to the left here, or rather a passageway to a birthday cake. So we're definitely not going to forget those cakes. Okay, now moving on, this is where things slowly get a bit more difficult. Just hit the barrel once to time yourself to avoid the spiked ceiling, I guess you could say that's moving. Here just keep bouncing back and forth to the green barrel, and here don't continue upwards, even if you get the barrel, just wait. That's going to be the best thing here. As you can see, not much else to do, but when it is cleared, get the barrel out again and start moving on upwards. Lovely stuff. Okay, now here you can't advance because, as you can see, there's a drone gun there. So we've got to get rid of the controller of it, quite simply. But we do need a fat man to do it. So put that platform up there so that the fat guy doesn't fall into the grinder when running away from you. And if you jump up to the right here, he'll notice you. Fall off the left side, the side without the grinders anyway. And yeah, beautiful. Again, not very difficult yet, but we'll get there, Okay, so if you wanted the controller, he is just up in that little space there, but there is no need for the rest of this level anyway. Okay, now here's a bit of acrobatics you've got to perform here. Either feel free to keep jumping on top of the barrel, or you can do what I'm doing, which is staying on a conveyor belt and just slowly edging backwards. When you find that happens, you can use an extra explode just to land ahead of the conveyor belt instead of just taking things kind of riskily like I am here. And there we go, end of the level. So this one can be a pain. As you can tell, any of these laser enemies, as always, are a pain to try and predict. If you take the route that I do, then it does cut a lot of the left out, and it also skips ahead of quite a few of these enemies that are in place, I guess you could say. So try and take that exact route if you can. If not, just take your time. And that makes that little section a hell of a lot easier anyway. Okay, so moving on, just simple jumps, luckily. Just don't frazzle yourself on the electricity as you come up here. And here, just hold off, slow down a little bit, and there we go, avoid the crusher. Okay, now don't skip the little electric switch that you see there. The one that I almost died on getting. I would say do not try this at home, but this is the walkthrough. And I don't want to brag, but I do know what I'm doing in terms of some of the jumps and whatnot, so do take your time with this if you're not confident with it. Okay, and moving on up, things get not so much tricky here, but you got two of these little robots and two of these big robots here. So make sure you blow up that small robot first, otherwise, more than likely, when you're kicking that spike ball back at the other enemy, the other guy's going to come in and frazzle you. And that includes here as well. Just hang on, wait for it, do not get excited, wait for him to turn its back and then go for it. Trust me, you've got plenty of time to always do that. And again, obviously, another 5 hits. Fantastic. Okay, now this is where things can get a little bit tricky as well, a little bit of a chase scene. Not too tricky, but just got to keep on hitting those barrels and keep on landing those jumps. And sometimes you can miss that green barrel if you're not too quick. here. As you go up, you don't have to explode off the wall like I did, but just as long as you hold right at the least. And then going to time this well. There we go. Sometimes that keg can miss, which is a pain if you mistime the kick. The only way to know for certain is just to get it at the peak of your jump, or the peak of its height, I guess you could say. And here, don't worry, keep on going, plenty of time. And on up over here. Okay, now here, do not explode, do not jump, do not do anything. Just wait for this scientist to just run, otherwise you fall through the glass. Now, here as well, occasionally the electricity can go in a horrible pattern for you. Here I am lucky and it goes in the normal sequence, but what you can do, if you're tight, is fit in between each electric barrier if the pattern is off. And then you just take your time to advance from there. And here you've got to catch that barrel first time, otherwise it would fall through the glass and that could take you with it. So, fantastic. Now moving on. Got to make sure you catch that barrel on there first, otherwise there's nothing you can do down here. And then slowly, and as that platform is going back, you just hit the elevator switch as you see what I've done there. Okay, now here, kinda simple, you just got to start the power to the platform again. So you don't have to catch that green barrel, but it just speeds up the process at least. And here we go, just time it so that not only will the keg not get electrocuted, but you don't hit the platform. It's simple. I know I'm saying simple and obviously quite a lot here, but a lot of it is common sense. Some of these levels are, or rather most of these levels are only difficult because of the precise timings of jumps and speed and whatnot. So going on to these platforms now, just moving on up, nice and easy. And then when you come up to this, just hit the platforms as you would normally when in a chase scene. Okay, and we are slowly coming up to some cake here. So when you get to here, just drop down. And there we go, a nice little opening there. Just don't mess it up like I almost did. Fantastic. Now what you got to do here, catch the barrel, and then you're back over here. So continuing to platform with precision, continue to the right now like you normally would. Okay, and now a bit of chasing, just keep on moving forward, there's no need to wait, just keep on moving forward, exploding as you catch the barrel switch, and then moving on up. Okay, and here, got to be, again, quite well timed. Now, explode barrel goes to your right, so you can jump off there and keep on bouncing off the wall. And obviously don't leave things too long, so otherwise those spiked walls will destroy the platforms that you're using. But from here, it's pretty simple, just keep going up, stay in the centre here, and there is a barrel that you can hit as long as you wait for the precise moment like I. Or like me, I don't know what proper English is there, but there you go, end of the level, fantastic. So, moving on now, what you're going to have to do is when you hit the wall here, just bounce off and hit this bottom left keg, and that'll get you the cake, nice and easy. Okay, now here, don't advance to the right because there is a drone gun over there. Now, this level is one of the more difficult ones as well because of a particular piece of timing with electricity, I believe it was, but we'll come to that later. In the meantime, just avoid any of the laser enemies that come your way. And I find taking the left wall is a bit easier, but ooh, that was very, very close. Don't do that, I was trying to hang on to the platform there. You guys know what you're doing, and so do I to a degree. And then I'll take the right side here. And all you can do is let off a simple explode to reach that platform. Here we go, get into the controller now. Just make sure there's no enemies that have spawned near you for the lasers. Just keep moving up. Go. Obviously avoid all the acid pools in your way. This is simple platforming here. Okay, now here is the start of an amazing journey for the fat guy. You can probably guess already that that is what you're going to use to, well, soak up the bullets of the drone gun on the bottom floor. But trust me, we're far from over on this. As you can see here, you're just going to make it through the spiked ceiling and floor at the right time. There we go, lovely. And then same again here. Quite lucky here as the platforms were practically open when I got there, but depending on your timing it can be different, so do take your time there. And now here is just really a points thing where they chuck loads of scientists at you. Again, up to you whether you wanted to catch them or not. Okay, now you can only advance through there once you knock the scientist off the platform again to hit the switch. There we go. He's well happy, isn't he? Now, this is probably the most difficult part of the level. This part right here, you've got to get your timing so precise. So you'll be going and going, and then you've got to wait for that to turn off. I know it looks like I'm doing it in a simple shot, but you have to time things so well there. You'd probably be killing yourself quite a few times just trying to get the timing down to a T, and on hardcore mode, oh, it's terrible. So you might want to practice on the normal mode first through the checkpoints. So if you can get through that, then that's actually the most difficult part of the level. Now getting right close again, make sure you don't fall into the acid pool. Now we've got some of those robotic enemies again. Very, very easy at this part. But there is another robotic enemy behind him as well, and you just got to make sure that you, through recoil, don't knock yourself off the platform here. You see what I mean? Because look, see, it's quite a small piece there, a small piece of platform rather. And one last one should do it. There we go, lovely. So do what I do, and obviously don't pop yourself in front of those robotic enemies, otherwise there'll be all that progress for nothing. Okay, and that is the last platform that you need. Now, don't feel that you can just fly down here because there are electric fences in the way, so take your time with it, catch the switches that you can, and go slowly down here, and then again, catch the barrels that you need, which are all of them, so catch them all. And there we are, so coming up to the ending now of that level. Well, give yourself a pat on the back, because that is one of the more frustrating levels of this game. So moving on now, luckily an easier one by far. One of those chasings, like one of the ones in Worlds 2, it only goes on for about 2 minutes and you just keep on moving as fast as you can. It's like poetry in motion, this, isn't it? There we go, that's the first part done. Now the second part, there is a little secret at the end with the cake, but we'll get to that in a minute. So keep on going here, make sure you've got all your explosives go up here. It can be very occasional, well I say occasional, it's the most common thing to go wrong. Now while running along these platforms that are lowering themselves, you might not recover your Splosion properly, so do take your time, but don't take your time. That is the best advice I can give. Okay, and we've made it to the end, but don't go anywhere, just wait by that elevator switch. Depending on the game, you can sometimes hear something exploding very, very faintly in the distance, and that would be our little route to the cake. So as boring as it is, you're just going to have to wait, you really are. And there we have it, that is what was exploding, or exploding rather, the barrel. Okay, so continuing up there. I would say take your time, but the spike ball can come back up. So yeah, be careful. There we go, that is the end of level 1-5. So the final piece to this is actually a chase scene. So here we go, got to be so quick here and precise with your jumps. So in terms of your platforming, you want to actually explode as soon as you hit the floor, not wait for the explode to recover. Anyway, as you see, just take the route that I am. And there we go, some lovely, lovely cake. But don't take too much time because the chase is still on. Skip all that you can. And again, just explode as soon as you hit the platform because there's something to spark you explode off again. This is probably the most difficult bit here, just getting that missile up to that scientist there. Most of the time you're going to get it anyway just as you're running along and just speeding through it, but occasionally it can take a turn for the worse. And so here, take the elevator. I try to make a shortcut but make a bit of a mess of it, as you can see. But the proper way is to take that bottom platform first and yeah, continue on upwards like we're going through here. Okay, so keep moving, keep moving. And for your efforts, we are just about at the end of the level. Just make sure that scientist doesn't stop you. So there we are. That is levels 1 to 6 there. An interesting section indeed, and only one really difficult level there. But trust me, there are more which we will be going through on the next chapter. So until then, pop your comments in the section below. Let me know what you think, as well as if you need any other help, you know, any timings. I can't stress that enough. And yeah, until next time, you guys take care, and I will see you again soon.